Alrighty, and we're live. Hello, Mr. Bowie. So this is me and Johnny's group, or Jonathan,
Hello.
as you know him. So Johnny's gonna go ahead and start us off. We're doing Japan versus the United States economy, and we will come to a conclusion at the end. We're gonna talk a little bit about the history and
Mhm.
how they relate to each other, how the governments have dealt with things.
Okay, so the economy of Japan so far in present day is very high. It is ranked the third largest in the world by nominal GDP. It's pretty advanced present today, but it wasn't always like that as far as the old days. And Cody will explain.
Yeah. So originally, Japan was very feudal. They didn't do very much. I mean, most for a good part of the early 18th century to 19th century, they were very broken up. Okay, they were eventually unified. However, the United States and other Western European countries kind of woke them up because they wanted to trade silk and other things. And then eventually, you get to the 1940s, you got Imperial Japan. So Imperial Japan didn't want anything to do with anyone. They just wanted to take from people. Of course, they would have traded with the Nazis if they had survived. However, after the defeat of Imperial Japan by the United States installed a free market, capitalistic economy. Emperor Hirohito, he had to continue running his nation with now a completely foreign economic system to him. So how that kind of went about was, the people now can own the stuff. It wasn't just before that the government could, they would own the factories that would make the tanks and planes, So now people can own their own little businesses, Everything's privately owned. Every factor of production is privately owned and they can make whatever they want. A good example of this is Samsung. Samsung was birthed from this age. They sold microwaves and appliances, for example, which that helped their economy. However, in present day, despite them having the third largest growing, semi-growing economy, they do not deal with economic issues and instability very well. Not as much as the United States. John can tell you a lot about how the United States has dealt with, the Great Depression and recessions.
All right, so yeah, the Great Depression so far in the United States, it was just a horrible economic crisis when President Hoover came into power. But then thankfully, President FDR came came in power, saved us by the introducing the New Deal, which was basically just a way to put an invisible hand in the economy, just to boost it up, to help people. And when that happened, I feel like it went from free economy more to capitalist at that point because it requires sometimes government intervention. It's not as bad as as other countries where when government is involved it's like for their own sake, but like for United States sake it's like for the government is just trying to help boost it up so it doesn't just fall down again and it just creates a whole crisis. So I feel like it went from free to capitalist, and I think it was a great way, honestly, because now look at us where I think that's why it's a contributing factor of why the US economy is better than Japan's.
Yeah. So talking about Japan in modern day, that they have a very low birth rate. Their population is getting old. I think the average age is about 50 to 60, which is absurd. And with a capitalist economy, there are some major disadvantages of that. One is as you get older, or even if you're young, you have very few opportunities to actually get up the ranks. You know, and with that being said, because their population is getting so old, you have to have, of course, a new generation to come and pick up the slack. Well, Japan doesn't have that. The birth rate, like I said, is extremely low. They even have breeding visas, which I mean, I kind find kind of funny. But aside from that, another factor to why their economy is weaker is talking about, um, you know, natural disasters, Fukushima power plant. I don't know if I've said this already, but we're going to say it anyway. So it, obviously radiation exposure caused an earthquake, a mild one, but still an earthquake. They've been hit with multiple tsunamis. Japan doesn't have a very good way of dealing with those, and it requires a lot of resources to do so, which beats down their economy even more. In recent memory, though, their GDP is semi-stable yet very low compared to, say, China or the United States. However, you've got some other things gunning against Japan as well. Their size, how many resources are currently there. But besides that, a large, good economy can overpower all of that. The Middle East is a good example of that. They have oil, right? But they don't have very much else. But they're still doing pretty good, Iran's doing pretty all right, They sell a lot of oil. So that is a large reason on why Japan has a weaker economy compared to the United States. It's because they don't have a lot of experience. They've got an aging population. They don't know how to deal with large-scale economic disasters and or instability. However, their new prime minister, Shizujo, Abe, I've probably absolutely butchered that, has made it his top priority and his administration's top priority to stabilize the economy and have similar policies to the United States. In my opinion, and in Johnny's opinion as well, it's a little too late because, of course, you have their population declining pretty much, and that's going to lead to another recession. So they have a great economy compared to everyone else, but it is nothing compared to the United States.
Correct. So I think probably just one more thing to add about on why we are more capitalist. I think I forgot to put this in, but another way like the invisible hand comes out by the government, we also have for present day, we have like stimulus checks, Medicare, and all of that. That's just one example that I think I forgot to put out, but I think that's pretty much on why United States economy is better than Japan's, because we've dealt things with more efficiently, I would say, I guess, in that sense.
Yeah. So, in case you haven't noticed, Mr. Bowie, Johnny, of course, is the United States. I'm Japan. We're bouncing ideas off each other to compare them. I just wanted to clear that and make sure you understand that while watching the video, because it's a pretty long video. It's 8 minutes now. So, I think that's about it for the presentation. I hope it got the point across more, and I hope you have a good day, Mr. Bowie.
See you.